Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is The Mask of Nyarlathotep. It was written by Larry DiTilio, Lynn Willis, Mike Mason, Lynn Hardy, Paul Fricker, and Scott Dorward, and it's available from the Chaosium website. Our game master is Morgan Llewellyn, and this is episode 14. Our recap will be given by Stuart Lively as Hauser Grunwald. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into darkness. Stuart?
Journal entry, March 4th, 1925. We arrived and docked at Southampton, England, and made it through the customs with no incident. As Jonah mentioned, Mick Mahoney, a reporter in London for The Scoop, was a connection that Jackson Elias worked with. We decided to visit Mr. Mahoney first. Depending on how that went, we could then follow up with either Inspector Barrington of Scotland Yard, whom Jackson also left mention of, or track down what information we may garner from the Pinhue Foundation, where Sir Audrey Pinhue joins the Carlisle expedition from. Our group met with Mick Mahoney, an interesting chap that seemed more interested in making sensationalistic stories rather than the truthful ones. However, Jackson Elias placed some of the respect with what Mahoney uncovered at times. We reviewed 3 previous stories that the Scoop ran, all that Jackson placed interest in. The first story centered around the horrific Egyptian murders, which brought up images not far off of what the cult of the Bloody Tongue had done in New York. The second story of a town plagued by a beast which had claimed at least 2 lives. Thirdly, a local artist, Mr. Miles Shipley, was astonishing viewers with horrific images that Miles seemingly was driven to paint. Upon arriving at his studio, we found he and his mother both lived there as well. Miles was notably stressed by his visions, being driven by what seemed to come from his mother somehow. Octavius Fox, impressed by such visions put to canvas, offered to buy the entire portfolio, which would have paid for months and months of salary, but that barely registered with Miles' mother. Theo and I headed out into the gardens for some air and tea that Miles' mother offered, while Fox, Morris, and Fred reviewed items inside. What I can barely recall past that all came so fast. I was stabbed in the back and was quickly paralyzed by the mom, and what appeared to be some god-awful snake-like person emerged from the skin of Miles' mother. Theo quickly responded with his cane sword and struck her well, but she still came and plunged her fangs into Theo's shoulder, sending him into a poisonous shock. Thank the stars that the others heard the commotion from inside as they rushed out to help. A well-placed shot from Fox put the snake beast down. After stabilizing Theo, the group searched the studio, only to discover the snake creature collected other skin suits, not just of Miles' mother. The group ultimately decided to sneak the snake creature's body out and ship it in a refrigeration container to our Miskatonic University connection for further study. Then, Theo and I to the local hospital to mend our wounds. Dear God, England seems to be as bad as New York's worst. What now?
So we're going to pick up where we left off at the Shipley residence.
Yes, I think that while Hauser and Theodore go to the hospital, and we should join them there shortly, we need to take a look through this place. We also need to do something for Shipley. I think he's in a bad way at the moment. What sort of facilities do they have here in London for as far as a sanitarium or something like that goes? Anybody have a clue? Morris, you're the most familiar with London. You're muted.
I don't know. Coney Hatch, I suppose.
Coney Hatch. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's maybe we should call, see if they can come and pick him up. Let's search the house. See what we can find. We've got one jar of this stuff. Obviously, it's something they were feeding poor Miles that was causing him to hallucinate, but it might come in handy later on.
Okay.
Is there a basement?
You're not here.
Oh,
You
we're in
went to
the
the
hospital. Yeah, we're a hospital already. So.
There is not a basement.
There's not a basement.
No.
We yell down the street. Hazard. There isn't a basement.
Well, I'll check this floor. Maybe there's an attic. Maybe there's 2 floors, right?
Is it
I
just
lied.
like
There is a basement.
Okay.
Ah.
Is it like a townhome?
Yeah, it's just a small.
What's the layout of the building?
So you have the main floor, you have the upstairs, and then you have the basement. It's the house itself isn't very big,
Right.
So all
It's
of the rooms
narrow.
are pretty small.
All right.
So,
Well, I'll take the level with the art on it. That's the 2nd floor. Somebody can take the basement. Somebody can take the 1st floor, and check and see if there's any way up to an attic or something.
Yeah, I can look in the basement here.
okay, so we'll start with Frederick. If you could make a spot hidden for me as you're in the basement, and just full of like broken crates, broken chairs, mostly just junk, a lot of old furniture down here.
We're trying to figure out what was going on here. Why
That
was this?
is no fail. Just a bunch of crap in the basement.
Just a bunch of you're not really noticing anything is really jumping out at you, but make an int roll.
Oh, let's see. It's also a fail.
All right, so you come up short in the basement.
Yeah, I'll holler up the stairs. Doesn't look like there's anything down here.
All right.
And Fox, you can make a spot hidden as you're rifling through the upstairs.
Oh, 22 out of 45. So that's exactly half. Hard.
All right. So as you're rummaging through things, and going through the paintings,
Yeah, some of them are hard to look at.
you find a couple more paintings that are highly interesting to you.
Yeah.
One of them is a fellow with a golden mask with a smooth side, bearing this gold, very much like what you saw in Peru, into the desert sand or some kind of arid.
Okay, I
location.
see. I say it again. I'm seeing a man in the desert with a mask.
He's burying that mask you found in Peru.
He's bearing the mask. Does it look like Frederick?
It does. It does look like Frederick.
This chemical that he's been drinking is giving him the ability to see things that are obscured. Frederick. Freddie, are you downstairs?
What?
Come here, I want you to see
Yes,
something.
I'm coming upstairs.
Yeah.
Stomp.
That chemical that Miles has been drinking. It somehow has given him visions. Him able to see things that he shouldn't be
Oh.
able to see. Yeah, and I pick up the canvas facing away from him, and then I flip it around and show it to him. Remember this?
And I'm assuming it's
It's
exactly,
where you buried it.
And
Dang
it's your
it.
clothes?
Son of a bitch.
I mean, it's
We need
kind
to
of
burn
disturbing at the same time, but
We
it
need to
also
burn that.
well, it means that we've got some chemical. Although it drives you insane, obviously, it's driven poor Miles off his rocker. I think we need to make sure we get all of these paintings back to my place and study them very thoroughly when we get back, because they're showing us things. Maybe take a look at them right now. What do these things mean? These are obviously, well, not obviously, but they might mean something that's about to happen.
Maybe Hauser can take some decent photos of him as well.
That's not a bad idea. He already went to the hospital, took his camera with him.
That does set a bad precedent for the rest of this more grisly imagery.
Yeah, well, some of this has got to be symbolic, don't you think? I mean, look at that one there. I mean,
I would hope so.
all the eyes and tentacles and things. I don't understand that at all. Although we did see that horrible fucking thing in the pit, in the very important Juju house.
Yes.
And in this stack of paintings against the wall where you found this painting of Frederick, just rifling through it a bit more, and once again you see that conglomeration of heads.
Oh dear God,
including Christopher.
Oh my God.
Part of it.
If only there was a way to tell when this was painted.
Well, Miles is still here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah. Yes.
Miles, we are going to get you the very best help that we can. Understand? You've had a terrible trauma. And but what you think you've seen, your mother taken over by a snake person, that's real. We saw it too. We're here. These are monsters that are among us. We didn't know it either, but now we know. Miles, when did you paint this painting here? Do you remember?
I painted that one a month ago.
A month ago. How about this one where this guy's burying the mask?
Oh, that was one of the early ones that I did.
And how long have you been doing this?
A year now.
Year. Miles, you are seeing things that haven't happened yet, or are happening, or did happen, but that you couldn't possibly know about.
It's just all my dreams.
It's okay. It's whatever that thing was, whatever that chemical was that it gave you.
Speaking of Fox, may I see that?
Yeah. See if we can find more of this. Maybe that thing had supply around here somewhere.
Okay, Morris, are you searching the ground floor? Yeah, if you can make a spot hidden check.
Sorry, I was muted then. Yes, is what I said. Spot hidden. Oh, that's an 18, which is a hard pass.
Okay, excellent. So as you are kind of rummaging through the kitchen, you decide you start pulling things off the shelves, and kind of tucked behind like spices and things, you find more jars of this liquid, and as well as these kind of strange powders, what appear to be some kind of plant. Just things you've never seen before.
I say out there, I've I think I found her supplies,
Excellent.
or its supplies. And I'll start taking this
go.
stuff out, and I'll put it on the. I assume there's a kitchen table.
Yes. So
I'll
find
put it
about
all on the kitchen
you
table.
find about 3 more jars of like the finished liquid that was in Miles's room, and then you find about 5 other jars with just you are just at a loss of what any of these are.
Is it possible to tell what kind of thing it is? Is it fungus or plants? Or...
Make a natural world.
Oh, that's not going to end very well.
I'll be coming down and doing that as well.
Okay. You make a natural world in chemistry.
Oh no, I've failed that unless I'm going to spend 76 luck points.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
Find out it's tea. Look, we can have it all shipped back.
it looks like sago.
Oh no, that's not worth the luck. Dang it.
Yeah, so you have no idea what any of these ingredients are. And Frederick, now that you're down in the kitchen, there was something kind of scratching at the back of your mind when you were downstairs. And now it clicks. There should have been another room in the basement.
Morris, do you think this place would have a half basement?
Well, what do you mean by half basement?
Well, the floor plan of the main floor here is more expansive than what the basement looked like. Here, let's go down and see if we can't find something.
The foundation should be the same all the way down, so it should
Yes,
be
yes,
roughly the
yes.
same size.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have an overhang or something.
I'm an anthropologist, not an engineer.
Damn it.
I have to find somebody named Jim to say that to. Okay, anyway.
Well, let's start by examining whichever wall is the differential. Obviously, one wall is going to be an outside wall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look at what would be the inside wall.
And that wall has all this stuff piled up against it.
All right, so going back in the basement, you find what would be the interior wall. You start moving like bookshelves, some sofas and other things out of the way, and you find a door.
Delightful.
Cribbins.
And as you open the door, you are just hit with the stench of death.
Oh, delightful.
And laying on this flat table, you see a half-skinned human body. A completely skinned human body next to it. And another one of those skin suits kind of hanging from the roof. As well as a couple of more kind of strange herbs and powders and written material in a language you don't recognize.
Huh.
Make sanity checks.
Yes, I think we should.
Oh my gosh. Against all odds, that's a pass.
Not for me. I failed.
Okay, it's 1 if you pass, 1d4 if you fail.
Oh, and I got the full 4.
Oh, I hope I never get used to the smell, Morris.
Good God, what is this?
Well, it's well, is the term abattoir?
Charnel House. What? How many people has this bloody thing killed?
Well, there were a number of suits.
If you
For,
start doing the math, The ones you saw upstairs and now with
We're in
these
England.
2 additional.
Maths.
You do the maths.
The plural of math.
It's about
Mathematics.
Math-I.
it's
We're
about
gonna
8 people.
go with the Latin. 8 maths.
8 people.
Oof. Well, let's.
Someone would miss these people. I mean,
You would
if they're
think.
if wearing their skins is of any use to the bloody horrible thing, then it
What's
wouldn't have
the-
chosen just nobodies, would it? It would have chosen people who had a reason to choose, and someone must have missed them, unless it's
I'm
it's
assuming
going
there's
back and
clothing
pretending
and stuff,
to be
right?
them.
Like, what's the state of the clothing?
The clothing of the victims, it's all folded nice and neat.
And it's
the
nice
corner.
condition clothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So how? I mean,
I think you're right, Morris. I don't know how to progress with this without getting authorities involved, but at the time that doesn't seem like a good option. Not for us, at least. Let's here, you grab those papers, I'll grab these herbs, jars, and let's get this up somewhere with more light and
yes,
more
yeah.
air.
Let's just While you're getting the herbs and things from the kitchen, open the window or something.
Yeah, is there a basement window that can be opened?
There is. The ones in this room have been boarded up.
Curses.
But there are other windows in the basement you could crack open.
I'll open up one of the easily accessible ones. And the herbs that I bring up, are those also unidentifiable?
Yeah, you have no idea what they are. These jars appear to be labeled, but not in a text you recognize.
Even as an anthropologist?
Even as an anthropologist, these are completely alien to you. They don't look like any kind of writing you've seen before.
Well, this is at least worth something. Looks like we've got more of a collection to give to Arkham once this is all over.
Before we go up, are there any tools or implements in this room with the skinned corpse?
There are some scissors, some knives,
And they're just usual, normal, recognizable, everyday implements, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to take the papers and go up to the others, find the others. I don't want to be in here. This is it's a miasma. It's horrible. I haven't lost enough sanity for temporary insanity, but I'm not far off. I certainly don't want to be in there.
So you're muted.
So I come down the stairs. Did you guys find anything? Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
What's...
don't look in there.
We found more house guests.
Oh my God!
Yeah, there's a freshly skinned one in there. It's
And a partial.
Save yourself the sight. You don't need to see it. You know what it is.
So I talked to Miles. He's willing to let us take the art. I told him we're going to take him to the hospital and get him checked in, and then get him to a sanitarium. And then I've got a shipping crew coming here this afternoon to collect all the stuff that we want to send. Jaws included, I guess, unless we want to bring some of those with us. I don't know if we're going to use them or not, but it seems like a means to seeing something that's going to happen.
It's certainly a means for something.
Theodore probably would know more about it than I do.
It might be interesting to. Do you know
He
someone
might.
we could send these powders off to for analysis? A chemist or I don't know, maybe a botanist. I'm not even sure what any of this stuff is.
Let's just get it all sent back to our place, and we'll worry about that later. But I think we
Hopefully it
should
doesn't
bring.
have a shelf life.
I don't know. They look kind of dry. Are they dry? Dry herbs.
They are dried.
Okay, then. Yeah.
But we got to do two things.
Itself is, I mean, what are we going to do about that?
Yeah, we got. Well, okay.
I mean, there's a dead body in there.
We got to
Several.
take care of the shipping. We got to take care of Miles, and we got to keep all of this shit hidden from the shippers. And then, I don't know. The thing is that it's almost like we need to get the police involved in this. But if we get the police involved in this, then everything else is going to come into question. I think maybe if we can get Miles out of here, get him committed, and get the stuff out of here that we need, and we just leave it.
Yes.
I think, look, if that thing can wear people's skins, if there are others of those, then they're wearing people's skins. So we can't trust anyone. So the less people that we bring in on this, the better, I think. So I know this is probably not a good idea, but I think we should just shut that door and put all the furniture back where we found it and just forget that we found that room.
Yeah.
Leave the windows open down here, give it a bit of airing, and
Well, close it all up so the neighbors don't smell it.
Well, are the skins, are they dry? Do you think they could be burned?
the ones upstairs look like they were cured or something. Yeah.
But maybe you got the
They
right
look quite
idea.
lifelike. I don't know how it is.
Maybe we cask of a lot of this stuff and throw it all in that room and seal it up and hide it. Maybe they might not find it for years.
It's a bit morbid, but yes.
I need to postpone the meeting with Penhue.
Looking through the kitchen cupboards, is there any coffee?
Coffee?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'd say we'd shut the door, and between now and the shipping company arriving, we brew a few pots of coffee in the hope that that'll cover the smell up.
Okay.
Possibly.
So it's worth a try.
We could probably sprinkle the extra grounds.
Well, I'm just
in the
thinking,
room.
you know, the smell might
Let's
cover it up a bit, unless he's got any incense or anything up there.
Fox, before you head off, are we doing something with the snake body?
throw it in there. Just all of it in there, I think.
All right.
We want to keep hidden. You didn't even find the room until you realized the
That's
thing.
fair.
So I think that
Reasonably well sealed, or the smell of reptile is masking it for now.
the smell of reptile will dissipate pretty quick if you have that in there. And open up the windows in the basement, but not the ones in that room.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go call Penhue, see if we can postpone till tomorrow, and then once we get that done, I mean, I can stay here and wait for the shippers if you guys want to go to the hospital.
Well,
I'll stay here with you. I don't think any of us should be on our own. I mean, look.
I can run to the hospital and check on
All right.
Theonhauser.
I'm going to wrap some of these paintings because I don't want questions.
You can take care of yourself, but I mean, what if one of us was on our own and one of those things came and cut our skin off?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We'd never know.
What a crazy business we're in, huh?
Yeah. Well, to
Out
be
of
fair,
the frying
no one
pan
suspects
into another frying pan.
No one expects a herpetological grandma with a poisoned knitting needle.
But how does it wear all the different? I don't get it.
All right, let me go make that phone call.
So you call the Painting Foundation, and you're put in contact with Thomas Kinnery, who was Gavigan's secretary.
I talked to him before.
Yep.
Mr. Kinnery, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
Mr. Kinnery, you might remember me from earlier. This is Octavius Fox.
Oh, yes, Mr. Fox.
We had scheduled a meeting with Mr. Gavigan. Unfortunately, one of our friends was injured, and he's ended up in the hospital, and we need to go be with him. Is it possible to postpone the meeting till tomorrow?
Oh,
or?
of course. Will the same time tomorrow work?
Yes, I think that will work. That'll be fine.
Okay, 1 p.m. tomorrow. I'll put it on the calendar. I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
Yeah. He tripped and injured himself, but he'll be okay. Well, we're just going to go make sure he's okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, of course.
That was easy.
All
no
right,
problem. Shippers will be here in an hour.
Okay, so Fox and Morris are staying at the house, and Chapman is going to swing by the hospital, taking Miles with you. Is that what I gather?
Yeah.
If the hospital and sanitarium. Actually, if we bring him to the hospital, then he can get ushered to the sanitarium should he need it.
Right.
Third party.
And they can
distance us more from that particular fustercluck.
So I'm going to spend some time wrapping paintings. I don't know when. Christmas wrapping, whatever Miles might have. Since he's selling paintings, he probably has wrapping paper.
Yes, yeah, he has things of which to cover them, things to transport them for sale. So it's
yes. Mother always made me do the Christmas wrapping, so I'm very good at it.
All right, yeah, and once again, wrapping the paintings is a very unpleasant experience.
But as I'm wrapping them, I'm taking a good look at each of them so that I can, if something along the way suddenly clicks and I go, wait a second, I've seen this scene before.
As you're going, you see one that looks damnably like a Carisserie. You see more.
I wonder if he's just seeing
with the red.
I wonder if he's just seeing things that have already happened. That'll be interesting to figure out. Good God, what does this mean if that's the case? Nothing with anybody that looks like a member of the Carlisle expedition in it. No. Big map of Africa, and it says they are here.
Like a dotted line.
Yeah.
It's the campaign's over painting. Look at where.
Yes, is there one entitled "The Ending"?
The ending.
Look for that one quickly.
How about Sanity Recovery? The painting. Yeah.
There's not any paintings of me getting stabbed again, are there?
Oh, actually, you find an entire section where all of a sudden you see it's Morris getting stabbed in like multiple locations, like
a triptych.
It's just
stabbings.
It's just a the Da Vinci painting with just diagrammed incisions on Morris, and they're all dated.
Oh no.
And one of them is in 3 minutes from now. Dun dun dun. No.
So as soon as we're done,
I'm wrapped in wire.
as soon as the shippers come, as soon as we take care of all of that and get it gone, then we lock up the house and leave.
Okay. Where are you shipping all the paintings to?
I think they should all go back to my Cape place in Boston,
Okay, so the paintings are going to be shipped back to Boston.
the Cape house.
Okay. And what about the fluids and the ingredients?
The fluids and the ingredients will also go there. However, well, we
We've
have a
got 3
contact at
jars.
Miskatonic. Yeah, we're going to save some of it. If we have a contact at Miskatonic, then maybe it'll go there.
What if we send 1 jar to the contact in Miskatonic and keep the other 2 jars in case we find?
I believe we have
an
4 jars total.
expert? Oh well, then if we send 1 back to Miskatonic and keep the other 3 in case we find anyone who can study it closer to where we are.
I want Theodore to get a good look at it because maybe he'll recognize it from some old, I don't know, some old gypsy formula for visions or something like that.
It's just slow gin.
The body. I think the body needs to go to Miskatonic Medical Research Lab. Along with a letter. I should probably draft a letter explaining the situation.
All right, so over the next couple of hours, you get the painting shipped off. You have the right type of container to preserve the body in salt. Have it sent.
All right. Lock the door. We'll head on back, Morris. Well, let's head over to the hospital.
Before we pile the furniture up against the door, maybe get some newspaper and things and just sort of wedge it under the door and possibly even fold up a bit of newspaper and stick it in the door frame as well.
Yeah, we'll do our best to seal that up.
Yeah, try and seal it off.
Maybe even if we find hammer and nails, nail it closed.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, so rummaging about throughout the house, you do find hammer and nails, so you can seal it off pretty good.
Okay.
And you got to join the hospital. So at the hospital, Theo and Hausa, you arrive and receptionist, what can we do for you, gentlemen?
I believe I've been bitten by something. My memory is hazy, but it could have been venomous. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it's calls the nurse over. The nurse looks at, and her eyes go wide. Looking at it. Please come with me.
Yes, very well. Come, Hauser.
Yeah. Help him along.
So they start helping the wound close up, and they're like, "What?" A doctor's like, "What bit you?"
I honestly, my man, I cannot for the life of me remember. It all happened so quickly. We were walking along, and then all of a sudden something jumped down, and well, it landed on top of me, and I just felt pain and just saw a blur of green, and that was it.
Well, you should be grateful that you're alive.
I am.
It's
Definitely.
like it's like a massive snake almost. Like the tissue here has just been completely eaten away by the venom.
Well, we were walking by the zoo, so.
Well, you might have to
Maybe
have
there's
them check to see if they're. But
a snake loose.
sorry, we're gonna have to remove some of this dead flesh in here. This is.
Of course, yes.
Because if we seal it up now, it's just gonna rot in you. So they take you in for some minor surgery.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're done, you can regain 1d3 hit points.
Okay.
Hauser,
While
what are you? Yeah. What are you?
when he goes in for the surgery, I mentioned to one of the nurses that I had fallen on a large sewing needle, and it stabbed me in the back somewhere, and I just wanted them to take a look at the wound, make sure it's not going to get infected.
So they take a look at it, they clean it up. And a needle, you say?
Yeah, it was yeah, like some sort of like a large sewing needle of sorts.
And you hear a doctor kind of saying to a nurse, it's like, well, you can see there's a similar kind of necrosis that has occurred in here, similar to the other man who came in. Fair, nothing major. Should so they very lightly remove that, just a little bit out of there, but they clean it up, they patch you up, and there's a, for you who was waiting for Thea to come back, there's a buzz, very easy to tell in the hospital now. This doctor and nurses kind of walk by where you're waiting. They're kind of looking, and they kind of whisper to each other. And
am I hearing any of this? Catching a little bit?
Just like, what in God's name attacked that man? You know, how did he, what, and then only did such minor damage to him, and they're just kind of speculating. As Frederick, you arrive at this point. Miles has been incoherently babbling to you this whole time, and when the receptionist asks him, he kind of just starts going on a pretty mad tirade, and is quickly kind of shuffled off.
So I don't even need to explain.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's good.
Because he starts trying to explain and quickly kind of spirals.
Well, do look after him. He seems fragile.
Yes, quite the nervous breakdown. Do you know what could be the source?
Well, I was walking tourist, but I was walking in, and I say the region, down the streets, heading towards well, there's something over there that I wanted to see, and this gentleman, I assume, came running out of his house. He seemed very distraught, and well, he regaled me with some tales as we walked over here, and I felt it would be best to see him to some professionals.
Well, good of you to bring him here.
Yes. Awfully busy in here, isn't it?
Yes. There's quite a quite the excitement at the moment.
Whatever for.
No, I'm afraid I can't really discuss those matters.
Of course. Do I see Hauser?
Peeking down a hallway, yeah, you see him.
Okay. All right. Well, oh. And I'll go saunter over.
V. Gates.
How are you doing?
Oh, a lot better. They took a look at the needle I fell into and got it all cleaned out and patched up. Theo is inside wrapping up the surgery right now, I believe.
Surgery?
Yeah, apparently it's caused quite a stir from what the staff has found. But
that would explain the general air of hubbub.
Yeah. He was in I think it's been a couple hours, so if it's nothing serious, it should be wrapping up shortly.
Yeah, and see the doctor that comes out. Theo, he's ready to see you.
Oh, excellent.
Danke. Let's go in. Theo, how are you feeling?
Much better, much better, my friends. I do apologize. I feel very embarrassed and ashamed to have my first day on the job, as it were, with you, and I find myself in the hospital.
Oh, it's
Well,
all right.
Yeah. This is par for the course, just to warn you. I mean, Morris has
more than prepared
survived
now.
twice now these sorts of incidents. You'd think we'd be more careful after the second time.
Well, I can assure you, I definitely will be more careful now. I will definitely be keeping a closer eye on everyone we meet, as we've now found. We can't trust don't trust a book by its cover, I believe is the saying. Well, as I said, the doctor has strapped me up a bit. I'd say I'll probably be a little bit out of action for a little bit, but I should be able to move forward with you gentlemen. Won't be doing any punch-ups anytime soon. But
well,
now, just to confirm, do I still have a major wound?
Did your 1d3 bring you back above a major wound?
Yeah, I was above half when Hauser did first aid to me back at the house.
Okay, your major wound will be gone.
Okay. I'm not up to full damage, but I'm like full max, but I'm yeah. Cool. But yes, no, I will remind me though, Hauser, I must send a letter to Kensington. I've thought of a chap who I can add as my next in line, an old school chum of mine from back in Eton.
Oh, do I know him?
You may have heard of him. He's quite a well-known author, Captain Francis Nobody McCormack.
Oh, okay. Rings a bell. I'm not certain.
Yes. But yes. So what, Frederick? And I kind of lower my voice and kind of try and lean forward a bit towards. Any update on the gents back at the house? What occurred after me and Hauser left?
And I lean in. Is the room? Are we in one room?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in the room?
Nope.
Okay. Is the door closed?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Then I'll fill in Hauser and Theo. So I brought our artist friend here, and he's being seen to at the moment. Octavius has he's commandeered a delivery team to start shipping the paintings back to his place, and we're going to ship a vial of that blue liquid to, well, it's some sort of hallucinogen that the old bag was feeding the artist. We're shipping one jar of that to Miskatonic. Hopefully they can analyze it for us. And we're holding on to a few others in case we find someone who can analyze them here.
From anything that he's describing, is anything like piquing my knowledge of the occult at all?
I mean, yes and no. You've heard plenty of stories about people using some form of hallucinogenics to see visions.
Especially coming from New Orleans. Yeah.
So this could be any number of things. The accuracy of these is rather startling. Because generally, right, they're generally very vague. They're up to interpretation. But I mean, yeah, these are very specific events and things that some of you personally participated in being depicted in these paintings.
Yes.
What about the body? What is that being shipped to?
Not currently. We found Morris actually helped me find a room that had been hidden in the basement, and this is where the skinning was done.
God.
As you can imagine, the smell was atrocious. I'm quite happy that it's not lingering on my clothes. But we've put all of the remains in that room so as to not alert the moving crew, and we have sealed that back up.
What
not the
about
best option, but it's the best option we have at the moment.
And I'll sort of look at my I'll probably have like a pocket watch of some kind. What about our meeting with Penhew?
Octavius has he is called, and I believe his intention was to postpone it.
Oh, capital.
Citing injury.
Well, yes. I told the doctor that Hauser and I were walking past the zoo and something fell down from above and attacked me. So at the moment, I think they believe there may be a venomous snake on the loose somewhere near the zoo that should keep them busy for a while.
Well, hopefully no one correlates the babbling lunatic with the escaped snake from the zoo. Hopefully.
Well, now have I been like given the all clear to be released from the hospital, or?
Yes, you're all clear to be released. Comes around the time where Octavius and Morris show up.
Okay. Cool.
So as you three are leaving, Octavius and Morris are arriving.
Gentlemen.
Morris, Octavius.
Glad to see you patched up.
Yes, as I was saying to Frederick and Hauser, I do apologize. I feel very embarrassed my first day with traveling with you properly, and well, I find myself in this predicament. I'll be more prepared next time.
You've possibly been a little affected there because we've been together for weeks on that boat.
Yes.
How could you possibly have known? I didn't suspect the old lady at all.
Yes.
Well, I do apologize. I pointed it out to Hauser, which is why I believe he followed me, which I must thank you for, Hauser. When we first entered the room, I must admit I was quite shaken by the painting, so I went off to the side to sort of catch my thoughts, and I happened to notice that the old woman, her shadow, it didn't match. She had a tail. The shape of the shadow was not correct. And I pointed this out to Hauser, and he can vouch for me that the shadow was not correct. And then, when we went out into the garden, I heard Hauser grunt behind me and spun around to see the woman. Obviously, the way, as I said, she'd stabbed Hauser, and I acted as quickly as I could, and she bit me.
Well, that actually kind of makes sense at this point, because one thing that was bothering me a great deal over the last couple of hours when we were looking through the stuff, we found the other skins that she had been using.
Others? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a closet full of them. She was wearing them like suits. The thing is that their condition wasn't necessarily, like a perfect suit you put on. And considering she had put on the old lady's suit, obviously that suit is not in perfect condition either. Somehow there must be some magic involved that's allowing us to see. It's an illusion, because that's why the shadow didn't match.
I was wondering about that, because I'd been thinking all along since I saw those skinned, since I saw the things in the room, I thought, well, how could it wear all these different skins? If one of them's an old lady, one of them's an adult man, they'd all be different sizes. But that, I suppose,
you
that
can
would explain it.
you can fool our minds, you can fool our eyes, but you can't fool nature. The shadow is not going to change.
Now that's what they used to call a glamour.
A glamour. Yeah, I've heard that word.
Glamour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we've also
And
got this chemical that she was force feeding Miles, and it was giving him visions.
Yeah,
that
I've
she was-
explained it. Do you want to look at it, Theo? I wouldn't.
Perhaps
I wouldn't sniff
back
it.
at the
Yeah, by the
perhaps at the
hotel.
back at the hotel. Yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, did you tell him about your painting? Miles painted
No,
a picture.
I didn't tell them about the painting.
Miles painted a picture of Frederick hiding the mask in
Yeah.
Arizona,
Oh no.
It's impossible.
which makes me
No,
wonder
it's
what the
very
snake person
possible.
was after. Was the
I
snake
must
person?
admit that Christopher told me that Chapman had taken the mask to hide it, and it never sat well with Christopher because, from memory, Christopher said that these the Carisari, the things that were hunting you, they seemed to be able to be they were able to sense where
Its
the mask
location.
was. So it never sat well with him that Frederick just went and hid it, because Christopher believed that whatever these creatures were, they would just sense where the mask was and go and dig it up.
Yeah.
I suppose this vision that the painting, I guess, in some ways confirms that.
Well, I think that what we
someone's
did.
been able to find it.
I think that what we
Yes.
did in Peru ended the Carisari.
No,
I don't
but
think
of course the Carisari, but
Other
there
things.
are
But
other
other-
things, other
yes,
members
other things
connected
can
to,
get to it.
a similar cult.
We might have to recover that mask.
I
Well, if
think
it's still
that's-
there, yes.
Yeah, if
Yes.
the picture painting shows exactly where you planted it, then
If you
well,
could give
it
me
is
the
in jeopardy.
location, if you could give me the location, Frederick, I could get my valet Slayton to go and procure it for us.
Is he? How good is he with orienteering and following maps?
Well, he's an ex-Pinkerton agent, so
Okay.
he's quite good at, that
Yeah,
sort
but
of
it's
thing.
in
I mean, if you give
Arizona,
him
in
the
the
coordinates-
United States.
Yes, it's about 2 days out in the desert.
Well, if we can give him the information of what he'll
Right.
need to get out there, I'm sure he'll be able to
I'll
hold up.
give you-
You're sure he can do this without being followed, this valet of yours?
Well, he's as I said, he's an ex-Pinkerton agent. He's up for the job. He's never let me down yet.
All right. I'll send the map in a letter.
Okay. Well, what would we like to do now, gentlemen? Do we?
I think we need to go.
I'm feeling okay.
Well, I think we need to rest for the evening. We got a meeting with Gavigan tomorrow.
Yes.
I think we might be able to go see this Barrington fellow about the Soho cult murders.
The Egyptian murders. Yes.
We'll see that in the morning. We got a 1 o'clock with Gavigan at the Penhue.
And what about this other article that we found at the Scoop, the one that Chapman seemed interested in, the hunt?
Yes, I think we have more pressing concerns currently.
That's the third thing, but we'll have to do
Yes.
that maybe the next day.
Yeah.
Yes.
A vacation out in the countryside does sound nice, though.
Well, let's get back to the Savoy, and I can have a closer look at this liquid you've found.
And weren't there some
Yes.
papers and things that you had?
Yes, we have papers as well.
Need to look this stuff over. There seems to be some stuff written in a foreign language that none of us recognize.
Did you look at them, Fox?
I didn't, but you told me.
Yes. Well, I didn't recognize the writing at all. Maybe you or Theo or even Hauser
Maybe.
might
What
recognize it better.
languages do you speak, Chapman?
Well, classically
what language
trained in
can you read?
anthropology and archaeology, so archaic reading is
Right.
Well,
interpreted.
I can only read French, Spanish, and Latin, and English, obviously.
Huh. Same thing for me. The thing is, though, is that we know what alphabets look like. and French, all the Latin languages have a very similar alphabet.
Mhm.
We know what Greek looks like. We know what that Asian Oriental languages look like.
Yes.
We know what Arabic looks like,
Oh.
and hieroglyphics. We know what that looks like. If that doesn't look like any of them,
I can tell you this does not look.
like any of them.
Sumerian, maybe?
Snake
Mm.
language.
Well, that'd fit if it was found in the belongings of the snake person woman
Yes.
thing. Then yeah, pig Latin.
Where did the snake
Snake
thing
Latin.
come from? I mean, is it an alien from another planet, maybe?
Well, possibly. So maybe worth doing some research on seeing if there's anything in the books about
Snake
serpent
people.
race.
At
I
this
mean,
point.
Satan himself appears quite often in the Bible as a snake. So possibly there's
Yes.
some connection with that.
Interesting
If
correlation.
we find another snake person, we should experiment with holy water and crosses.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to be running out specifically looking for another one of them. Won't be going out of my way to.
Maybe
try
there's
and find one
mongoose
out.
people.
Oh,
Or
that'd be a kick.
what mole people in New York. Yes, back to the Savoy, gents.
Yes, I want to continue reading and studying those books we have locked away.
All right.
So I guess we'll head back to the Savoy.
All right, so heading back to the hotel, is there anything else that it's about 5 p.m. by the time show's over at about the house and the hospital.
Guess we'll get some food sent up to the room.
Yes, a nice steak. Sounds good.
And so Hauser is returning to the study of the
Yeah, I want to
books.
become very familiar with the 3 books. Unfortunately, I do not read French.
He's
Well-
racing me towards terminal insanity.
Give me the French one. I'll take a look at the French one.
We read the French one on the boat.
Oh, that's right. We read most of it.
Yeah.
Let's see if we
I'll
can
have a
find
look
any
at the
reference to
liquid.
snakes in these books. Maybe I'll get out the Bible.
And I'll write a letter to Slayton with the coordinates and all that sort of what he'll need to go and try and see if the mask is there.
Okay, so you do that. Fox,
As
if you could give me a French check.
French.
as Theo's getting the map from me, he
And I got 17 out of 30, which is not a hard. It's almost a hard.
he bears witness just to the lengths of paranoia I've gone with this mask, because the map is inside the upper lining on my suitcase, so I have to cut the lining away. Right.
Apparently not
There you
not
go.
paranoid enough. As I said, Christopher was under belief that it should
Goddamn paintings. If you can figure out what that blue shit is, and
Yes.
hell,
Once
I'll
I've
buy you
written,
all the drinks.
once I've written the like all that down and we've put the map in, and I'll probably get it sent. Stamp and all that stuff.
Make sure that he doesn't look. So the front of the mask is very intricately carved, very odd looking. The back of the mask is like a mirror.
Okay.
Make sure that he doesn't look into the back of the mask.
The mirrored part. Okay.
Yes. In fact, best to just keep it in the burlap, in the locked box that it's in.
Okay.
Is there any reason why I should spend 2 luck and make this a hard roll?
No.
Okay.
I mean, unless you would want the time to be sped up, which I don't think you're really concerned about at this point.
Right.
So it takes you an extra hour or 2. In the book that you're reading, the French book, the selections from Book Vagabond, You find it briefly mentions a continent of the snake people called Mu that disappeared millennia ago. That's the only reference.
Hey, folks, I found something really, really important. And it's interesting because it's come up in certain other mythological books. The island of Mu, sort of an analog of Atlantis. You may have heard of it, the Lemurians. Apparently they were snake people, according to this Ebon book.
Wasn't that the one that was meant to be off the coast of Cornwall or something?
Yeah, in the ocean. It's been placed in different locations. We don't really know where, but I mean it's all been mythology. But here we've got this book talking about it, and it's talking about a continent with a civilization of snake people. Could this be some sort of holdover? I mean, there aren't no snake people no more, except the one that we encountered.
But how do you know there aren't any more snake people?
I would have thought that
she's
we would
wearing a suit. We didn't know ourselves. They could be among us.
Yeah,
Our
but you
bellboy
think that
who
we
just
would
brought
have.
up our bags and things. He could be a snake person.
But you think that we would have noticed before, right?
How? We did not know. We were right in her presence. And
I don't know.
only
We got all
because-
kinds of. We got monsters like vampires, and we got werewolves, and
if these things have survived for however many
Right under our
thousands of
noses.
years it is since that continent disappeared, then they're good at it. Obviously, I mean,
And collective memory is a tricky thing.
I mean, they could be in positions of power. Your
6
president
years ago.
might be
Yeah.
some sort of lizard
but
person.
if
The
that's-
queen, the king might be a lizard person.
if that's the case, do they all have basements filled with dead bodies?
I don't know. Let's go check
This
on the
thing
Tower of
seemed
London.
like a vicious animal, if you ask me.
There's an awful lot of people go missing every year.
That's true.
She
And
might have been vicious,
I would-
but smart.
I would like to point out that 6 years ago, any of us, when confronted with the notion of snake people hiding in plain sight wearing people's skins, we would have thought it utterly ridiculous.
Touche.
I don't know if that's entirely true.
Well, not
You
not
should-
all of
you-
us are.
Well, you weren't there.
Yes.
No.
You've
But,
you've
yeah,
never
you should-
had
you
somebody.
visit my manor.
You've never had anybody jump down on top of you and their face go like
Yes,
that.
That does sound. Christopher did describe that to me. It did not sound pleasant at all.
I'm-
Not a recommended form of weight loss.
And then no matter what you try to do to kill him, it's almost impossible to kill him.
God.
Did we ever kill that guy?
I don't know.
Fire.
Oh.
We should apply more fire.
Well, gentlemen, did I have a look at the blue liquid? Did I ascertain anything from it?
Roll Cthulhu Mythos.
I've got a little bit of that. A 14. Do I have 14? I will spend 1 luck to make it a regular pass.
Can you spend luck on Cthulhu Mythos?
I don't-
I don't know.
think
I'm
you
pretty
can.
sure.
It's
I'm pretty sure
it's a
Cthulhu
skill.
Mythos is one of the no-nos for luck.
Okay, if that's the case, then
Yeah.
Keep
You
it.
either have the info or you don't.
Yeah.
I can bring up.
yeah. Okay, no worries. In that case, no, I do not pass.
It's close. You feel like you really should.
Like it's just something
Like-
familiar about the.
Yeah.
You know,
So
if you
on the
drink
cusp.
some, hallucinate,
Yeah.
No, not
And
after.
go
Not
nuts.
after.
you can
Not
get
after the day
more.
I've had.
You could get more Cthulhu Mythos, and you might be able to get it.
No,
And you'd
it's
have a
not right.
vision.
Here, Frederick. Here, you're the one that's.
Yeah,
You're the one that seems so keen. Take a sip.
Unfortunately-
I'll sit watch.
You know, it's not an unthinkable notion. That's why I saved the shit. The thing is that you don't want to go as far as poor Miles.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you don't
But
want to
Frederick's
drink it every night.
offered to.
Well, and
to
the thing is,
do
too,
it,
is
so-
that is it possible that Miles is in his condition because he's unprepared for what he saw? We wouldn't be unprepared.
Perhaps.
Well, that's right. We're about to find out because Frederick's going to.
So I'm gonna open the jar, and I'm just gonna waft. Like, what does it smell like?
Nothing. This thing has
Nothing.
no smell to
No
it.
smell. Is
You
there any
could-
pressure release as I crack the bottle?
Yes, there was.
There was. Okay.
There's no smell.
But there's no smell.
And it's not the consistency of water. It's pretty thick.
Thick. So I'm gonna swirl it around the jar a little bit. Huh. It's got legs, whatever it is.
Bottom ups, Chapman.
We'll keep an eye on you and make sure that you don't like
Prost.
run outside or anything. You really think Calvin Coolidge is a snake person?
I'd believe it.
I mean, he's from Boston. It makes him a great person.
So what's is there any like instant reaction at all from him drinking it at all?
I haven't drunk it yet.
I was about to ask, like, is he actually drinking it?
Hurry up, Chapman. We don't have all night.
We'll watch over you. I mean, obviously, he's been drinking it for a year, and he's nuts. One
Might-
night's
I'd
nuts.
do it, but I've got snake venom rushing through my veins, and I've just gotten out of the hospital, so I'm not quite in the right nick of it. So
If you don't
Chapman,
want to
since
drink
you-
it, I'll drink it.
Excuses.
This is
So-
what
I'm going to dip a finger in, just and taste the end of my finger.
So you're the guy who dips his toe in the swimming pool before you jump in. See if
Damn
it's
straight.
cold.
Okay, so he takes it a little bit, he puts it on his tongue, and his eyes immediately just go,
like they dilate.
yep.
Okay.
Oh, grab the glass.
And Frederick, can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
Oh shit!
on just a drop.
Maybe she was only putting a drop, and we
You
were
were
about to
gonna
drink a
drink-
whole glass
That's
of
a
it.
4.
That is a 4.
Okay.
Opium.
Okay, so you see this vast Antarctic waste with these massive cyclopean just blocks, and you see these cucumber-like things with these 5-pointed heads with these unfolding wings standing above these massive soup-like entities that you see that they morph multiple arms out of this formless mass and lift columns as eyes kind of just ripple across the surface and melt away. And the vision fades, and you can make a sanity check for me, please.
Jesus, Frederick, you've been asleep for
Wow.
17 hours.
That's an 11. I am just nailing these sand
Okay,
checks
you lose,
currently.
you lose 1d4 sanity.
On a pass.
Right.
Frederick,
And I lose 1 sanity.
come to.
I'm really rocking this
So
low
so
sand
really
score
so
for some
so
reason.
it's when you come back, you really don't remember what you saw. That's how we'll play it.
So what'd you see?
How long has it been?
He was out
2
for
days. Yeah,
he was out for about 20 minutes.
it's about 20 minutes.
Oh, white wasteland, maybe snow. Some sort of creatures and wings. And maybe a pudding. And a weird fascination with the word cyclopean.
Maybe if you
Cyclopean.
had some more, you might have more detail.
Yeah,
Go
let's
for
realize
it.
this is some sort of a
I'm good.
hallucination.
I'm good, thank you very much.
And you don't remember anything about what you saw?
I remember fragments.
Let's try it this
But you
way.
did.
I'm
You,
gonna.
but you saw something though.
Yes, I definitely saw something.
Someone do a proper drink.
I'm gonna get a glass, and I'm gonna put 2 drops
Did I,
of the substance in the glass.
gentlemen? Did I
With some
convulse at
alcohol.
all?
No, not at all.
No.
You just sort of went wide-eyed.
Huh.
So
Look
let
like
me
you're
get,
on opium.
myself comfortable here. Got my drink. Now it's diluted, but I'll drink the whole drink. We'll see where this goes. So bottoms up.
Okay, can you make a luck check for me?
Okay. 2 drops.
And what is it? What does it taste like, Morgan?
Nothing.
Absinthe.
It tastes like a bright chemical red.
Right. Oh, great. We're just drinking
Ah,
straight red
Mountain
dye
Dew.
40.
I didn't realize my luck was so
Uh-oh.
low, but I failed.
Getting straight into the synesthesia now.
All right. So, you could roll 2d6 for me.
Oh, God.
I'll roll 1d6 twice. 5. Oh, and I dropped it. 5 and 3. 8.
Okay. So you find yourself you feel like you are drowning, and you realize that you're underwater, and you're looking around, and you see all around you is this kind of glowing green stonework that curves off at crazy angles, and you hear this deep voice just kind of just in your mind just go Cthulhu Fatagan. And all of a sudden you see something start to move, this massive, the size of a mountain, you swear, off in the water, this great tentacled monster. And you can make a sand check.
All right. That is a fail.
Okay, 1d10. Sand loss.
I dodged a bullet.
9.
Okay. And before you wake back up, the vision shifts. And you are standing in front of a pyramid. Hot sand is blowing across your face. Something is off about this pyramid. It seems bent or distorted. And you see this opening kind of up towards the top. And you see the members of the Carlisle expedition walk inside. And you'll lose an additional point of sanity.
Oof.
And you wake up and make an int roll.
So you got to fail
Hauser,
send to
Hauser,
remember
check
the
his
drink.
pulse. Is it elevated?
Yeah. I'll try to do that.
I passed my intelligence.
You pass? All right, Bout Madness time.
Oh, God.
Shall I do one? Let's see.
Good call, Fred.
Ridmus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be the closest taking
Yeah.
his pulse, and he'll start choking.
No, I'll just stab you with another knitting needle.
I rolled hysteria and screaming.
Okay, so
I
what
just
happens
wake
is,
up.
yeah.
Ah, 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 ah,
Yeah, so-
Octavius, his
4
okay.
Pull yourself together, man.
for 4 rounds.
Yeah, so whereas Frederick kind of just snapped back, his eyes stopped dilating, and he just starts screaming.
Quick,
We'll-
muffle him with a
we'll
pillow.
We'll all take it in turns to give him a slap, to bring him to his senses.
Quick, try and hold his
I'll
arms.
go and fetch.
Hold
I'll
his
go and
arms
fetch the
down
whiskey.
so he doesn't hurt himself.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
yeah,
try
I'll
and
take
grab one arm.
I'll grab the other.
Make sure he doesn't swallow his tongue.
Take his trousers off.
And you guys start hearing a knock at the door.
Morris, get the door.
Just a moment.
Coming.
Horrible nightmare.
Hello?
You see, it's a hotel employee.
Oh, my steak.
Uh,
Just tell him I'm having a bad trip.
is everything all right?
Yes. I'm afraid one of our party has a health problem. He's having an episode.
Oh,
Would you be kind enough to fetch some brandy?
oh, yes. Of course.
You usually calms him down when he has these
Seizure.
these turns.
I'll be right back with that. And he starts running down the hallway.
Thank you.
He stubbed his toe really bad.
He trod on a plug.
Just the door opens. He's like, "How much marijuana were you guys smoking?"
All of it.
Uh,
This year's entire output from Mexico.
Not
All
that
right.
that's a hallucinogenic, but anyway.
So after 4 rounds, we'll say 4 minutes,
Yep.
I start to calm down.
Yeah, he brings back the brandy.
I will take it from him at the door. Opening the door only as far as I need to get the tray in. Thank you. Just
Oh,
bug him a handful of shillings as a tip, and
I'm
send
going
him
to
on his
get
way.
like a wet towel or something and just sort of dab it at Fox's head to kind of, you know.
Here, drink this brandy immediately.
is there anything in the brandy?
Brandy.
None of that, that's for sure.
There might be some cognac in it as well.
Oh, there's something.
what is it? What did you see?
Part of it is too horrible to describe, but I did see something. I saw a pyramid, but it wasn't a pyramid. It was somehow distorted, but I could see there was an opening, and I'm pretty sure I saw the Carlisle expedition going into it. It was twisted somehow. I could feel the blast of the sand. That was the good part of the dream. The bad
Make a
part
no
came
roll.
first. I'm sorry?
Make a no roll.
Okay. I've
was
made
gonna
no
say-
roll.
I'm going to do a history or something.
A no is education.
Yes.
I failed.
Could I do
There's-
a history roll? I guess on pyramids that fit the description. Because I know there's not just Egypt that have pyramids. There's, you know.
No, it was twisted. It wasn't. It was distorted. It might have been my vision, but there's something in the ocean.
In the ocean.
Something. Its voice says it's like an earthquake speaking.
What did the voice say?
It was unintelligible, just impact syllables, some strange, unpronounceable thing.
Mm.
But it was a leviathan. It was a giant something down there waiting.
I think perhaps we've had enough excitement for tonight, gentlemen. Perhaps we
Yeah, I
should,
think 2 drops is too much.
we should maybe call it a night.
It does seem dosage increases clarity,
We should put this in the rest
and
of
all
these
that
in the
comes with
safe
that.
though.
I can see why Miles went insane.
Mm. Well, yeah, exactly. How much was he taking each time, and for how long?
For a year.
Poor man. Poor man.
Yes.
I don't think they're hallucinations either. Somehow they don't feel like hallucinations.
No.
They
Or
feel
a
like
vision?
reality, but through a lens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one of them clearly showed where you put the mask. So that's
Through the
not some
looking glass.
hallucination. Yeah.
Yes.
Why didn't
Vision
the snake
quest.
thing take the stuff himself?
Maybe
Perhaps
it doesn't
have
work
the
on
same
snake
effect
people.
on the DNA. Yeah.
Maybe he knows it's dangerous.
Yeah, that too.
Possibly.
Well, exactly. If you know something's dangerous, you find a
A dupe.
experiment.
Like a lab rat.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that Miles was to the snake person, was a lab rat.
I'm glad I don't have an
Slave.
artistic bent. Otherwise, I'd be making some paper mache.
Although I do realize you seem to remember more of your.
I took more. Oh,
Yes,
God, I
You seem
took
to
more.
remember more than Chapman.
Yes.
I wish I didn't.
Dosage. Dosage is important on this. Very important to remember that going forward.
As I
I was
say, I
I
think,
was almost lost. I almost drowned. I could feel myself drowning.
So if ever again, never more than 2 drops.
Well,
Because
maybe
one
I mixed
drop.
mine with alcohol. Maybe that did something too.
That's true. Yes,
Perhaps.
you diluted it. So
Theo,
they had
why
more.
don't you try some with water?
That's up your alley, Theo.
I'm gonna lean forward and spin Octavius's the pipe. There we go, my friend. Yes. Well, like I said,
maybe-
I'm not
maybe
doing
later.
too well, but perhaps I'll feel a bit better in the morning. I think tonight we should all try and get some rest. We've got our meeting set up for tomorrow, which we've already had to postpone once because of me. I don't want to have the same thing again. We've got things to do, so I think we've had enough fun with our little liquid. So let's put that in the safe and get some sleep.
Yes.
How about the papers? Did you have papers?
Oh, yes.
You can't read them though.
I'll come over to the table here, and I'll spread them out. Does any of this
Interesting.
look familiar to you?
If I
Any of
look
you?
at them,
Yeah, does it? Yeah, look like anything you said.
It still doesn't look like anything that you recognize.
did I gain any Cthulhu mythos?
Yes, you did.
You'd hope.
You gain 1d6 Cthulhu Mythos on top of the 5 that you get from that bout of madness.
Did I earn any?
Nice.
You earned a total of 11 there, Fox.
Jeez.
And then Frederick, you only get the 1d6 because you didn't have a bout of madness from it.
Holy smoke!
5. Oh boy. You're never gonna catch me. I will be the craziest.
Especially when he reaches
I don't know.
zero
What's
and
your
he's running
Cthulhu mythos now?
running down the street naked.
Well, my Cthulhu Mythos for me must be pretty high because I just put 5 into my credit rating. That's special. I'm at 22 now.
Oh, you did win. I'm at 19.
You're still chump change compared to Jason.
Jason who?
All right, so anyway, you all going to sleep at this point?
I'm gonna go to
Yep.
bed. Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, leave this stuff alone.
Well, Fox and Chapman, you had the initial
don't worry,
vision. You
Octavius.
haven't had the dreams yet, so
Don't worry, Octavius. I'm sure we sleep just fine.
yeah, the party ain't over yet. So, Fox, you can roll 1d8.
Seven.
You lose 7 more sanity from what you
Oh,
see in your
no.
dreams tonight. Frederick, can you also roll 1d8?
Oh no. Oh no.
So this, you are seeing scenes of the cosmos and of
That's 6.
alien landscapes and
Oh,
horrific things at the edges of
hi, Carl Sagan.
space and time. And Frederick, you lose. Okay, so Frederick sees something a little more specific while he sleeps.
Okay.
While you are dreaming,
Now, when
You-
we
you hear
dream,
this-
can we go temporarily insane?
yes, you wake up
Okay.
doing whatever it is.
We'll get to that.
So you're kind of standing in kind of this starry kind of void, and you hear this voice behind you, and it's a familiar voice. It says, I told you I would see you again. And it's Larkin.
No.
And as you spin around, you see Larkin standing before you, his eyes pure black. The tattoo on his chest is glowing and swirling.
What is this?
Please, stop your pitiful attempts. I have so much greater things to offer you than this little goose chase you're on. You have the path now, and I can show you the truth of all things, and we can do great things together.
Define great.
And he laughs as he fades away. You see a vision of the sky boiling away as blood kind of rains down from the heavens, and you see these massive dark masses kind of descend onto the planet. And so both of you can make int rolls for
Oh boy.
bouts of
Okay.
madness here.
Yeah, I already did. I passed. I got an 05.
Come on, roll high.
I really
Roll high.
passed.
You really
Son of a bitch. I got an 09.
Okay, so bouts of madness for both of you.
Okay. And I rolled that and I got flee and panic. So
Yes,
what
yes.
I figure I do is I jump up out of the bed screaming and I head for the door and I run down the hall and I get in the elevator running around in circles screaming and go to the basement and I hide in a closet somewhere.
Yep, you were trying to get away from those things that are out there.
Right.
Out
And then I wake up somewhere because I only have it for 2 rounds. But
So you need
Tom,
to
do you
roll.
want to roll up a bout of madness for me?
oh,
Yeah.
roll your 8-sided dice.
7.
And then a D4.
D4. As I knock over everything on my desk. 1.
You get a phobia or a mania.
Ooh.
So if it's up to Morgan, really.
Don't I have that? I've got your homebrewed shards somewhere for phobias and manias.
We could just pick one that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
You're afraid of brandy.
Oh heavens, no!
Or you're suddenly
He's
in
afraid
love
of
with-
werewolves,
the-
so he won't
the
go chase them.
humanity.
He's-
Suddenly,
he's-
You
terrified.
He's
of snakes.
afraid of
you
guns.
will get no. It's I don't remember what it's specifically called, but it's the fear of stars.
Mm.
So when you go out at night and you see like stars above you, it really
helpful.
freaks you out. I'll have to look up what it's called. It's
Astrophobia,
It's in the keeper's book, but mine is
Ooh.
a bit kind of behind a green
Stellarophobia,
screen, hard to get
astrophobia.
right now.
I think it's astrophobia. Or is that just a fear of outer space?
That could be outer space.
Or
Siderophobia?
Stellarophobia, stellar.
Stellaphobia or siderophobia?
It is
Asterix.
siderophobia.
Asterix is a star. Asterixophobia.
Siderophobia.
It's fear of
It's the fear
stars.
of stars.
Yeah.
It is did you say it is siderophobia? Siderophobia.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
There we go.
Aztec.
is it actual stars or do? Well, I guess we'll find
Marilyn
out.
Monroe scares you.
Which is terrifying.
It is an Aztec where the stars demon were believed to descend into the sky to eat people from the new fire ceremony failed. So you fear that the stars will descend and engulf you, which makes sense for the dream that Morgan just described.
Stars are going to descend and engulf us all. So I wake up to Octavius running out of the room. I think.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, so Octavius
What's going on?
jolts up and books it out of the room, just in terror, knocking things over, just blundering through the darkness. And yeah, and Frederick, you are just in a cold sweat. And you feel like you can almost just still hear Larkin's just dry laugh in your ear.
I say, are you all right?
Drugs are bad.
I saw
I don't know. You got your money's worth.
where.
Are you all right, Chapman? Would you like me to open the window?
Maybe some fresh air would do me good.
Well, there's a lovely night sky out tonight.
Do you want some brandy? I think
Is the fog gone?
I didn't have it all.
Yes, which is quite strange.
And I look out the window, catch my breath, and just back up really fast. Stars falling. I saw the stars falling.
We should go find
consuming
Fox.
everything.
Yeah, where'd he go? Is the door left open?
He
Yes,
he
he was not daintily clothing things behind him.
Hang on, I'm hurriedly pulling my my trousers and my jacket on over my pajamas.
All right. Well,
Slipping my shoes on.
yes. Well,
to pursue Fox.
I'll stay
you
here
enjoy
with
the night air. But let's go find a rich man in a nightgown.
How's this going to stay with you, Chapman, and me and Morris will go and see if we can find Fox.
Unless you're up for it,
Okay.
Frederick, but you seem a bit shaken.
Well, at least I'm not stirred.
Oh no, you stay here. We'll go and find him.
Okay, can those who are going to find him make a listen check?
I certainly can.
Oh, I think that's going to be a fail.
That's definitely a
That
fail
is
for
a
me.
fail.
Yeah, so you go out in the hallway, and you're looking. You have no idea where he went.
I will try loudly whispering, Fox! Fox!
Can I? Is the elevator one of the ones where you can see the floors going down? Like you can see that? Yeah. Is that has the pin stopped on any floor? Because what time is it now? It's probably quite late.
Middle of the night.
It's the middle of the night, and you see it. It's all the way to the basement.
So it is on basement. Okay. I said, well, unless he's taking the stairs. If he took, I mean, let's check the basement because that's where the elevator's gone to. And if he's not there, then he must have walked down to the lobby. Because we're on a private floor, correct? So there wouldn't be like stairs directly down. There'd be a fire exit, but like.
Right. We're in a suite level. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that the stairs were more for the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go check that. We'll go. Like I said, the elevator is on basement level, so we'll go check there first.
So you
Do you have your pistol with you, Morris?
I do. It's here in my pocket.
Just in case. I'm getting a bit paranoid now after my encounter.
Firing off guns in hotels. Oh dear.
Okay, so you
trouble for that here. You know, we're not in America now.
Yeah, that's true.
So you go down to the basement, and you find Fox kind of huddled in a corner.
say, you all right?
Huh? Huh?
It's Morrison and Theodore.
Where the bloody hell are we?
You're in the basement, old chap.
Yeah, we're down in the basement.
The basement?
Yes,
You started screaming and you ran out of the suite and you took the elevator down to the basement.
That's crazy. I don't sleepwalk. Fuck that drug.
Well,
What the fuck
you're
did
right.
we
You don't
take?
sleepwalk. You sleep sprint.
We made a horrible mistake taking some of that drug.
Well, let's get you back up in the room,
Oh.
and
I can do it myself. Thank you.
all right.
I'm a little cranky when I'm tired. Sorry.
Okay, and while you are bringing him back upstairs, Frederick, you see that Frederick is pale as death. His eyes kind of fixed off, like he's like looking at you, but he's like looking through you. Very kind of reminiscent of that look in Miles' eyes. As Frederick, as your sanity has now dropped below your Cthulhu mythos, the true weight of humanity's insignificance in the cosmos has dropped.
I wrap a blanket around him and pour a cold glass of water and sit down next to him and hand it in. Here, Frederick, you don't look well. And I try to help him sip some cold water.
None of us are well. You know, the stars will fall.
I suppose one day.
They're gonna fall, Hauser.
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Like falling stars? Like a meteor?
No. It was blue. I should have known. I'm just gonna keep muttering.
I'll just keep the blanket around him wrapped and try to help. I don't know how to.
Yeah, and as you're desperately trying to help Frederick, Theo and Morris return with Fox.
Oh, what a hell of a drug.
Oh,
gotta
fuck.
not drink that anymore.
Yes.
I think Chapman's got into shock. He's talking about falling stars and shades of blue.
Chapman, Frederick, it's the drug. It's the drug doing this to us.
We should send some correspondence to Arkham. Since we sent a bottle, we don't want them to accidentally try it and.
Oh, I don't think that they would try drinking something that they got in a.
Oh, what's this?
Only we're the idiots. Frederick, it's okay. It's true. Nothing matters. But
as soon as Morris gets close enough, I'm gonna grab him and pull him in, and whisper in his ear, "Larkin lives."
What did he say? I like your beard.
No. We did him in. Remember?
We did.
Yeah, we shot him.
He's back.
No. You've had a dream. It's all right. You've just had a nightmare.
I'm gonna lean over to Hauser and say, we might need to, wherever Miles went, we might need to drop Chapman off.
I think Chapman needs help, like I needed help last month.
Yes. I think he's I think a combination of this I mean, Fox is affected, but nowhere near as badly as Chapman. Perhaps it's the books. Because you said that Chapman read the books profusely over the time that after Christopher died.
I
The
think this
books.
drug sent him over the edge.
The
I think we are
the
dealing
books are
with
good.
things that are far more dangerous than we first imagined. I think we're dealing with things that are beyond comprehension.
Frederick, you have to use your logic and willpower to bring yourself to realize that what we're experiencing is part of that drug. And it might not be real. It might not really express our true world views.
Can I do a psych check on Chapman just to see how far gone I feel he is?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I'm kind of like I'm trying to decide whether or not I need to call. That is a 61.
I hid.
No,
the mask.
don't call
Mask
anyone
was
this.
hid.
That is a pass. So I have
Okay,
a
so
pass.
he hasn't snapped. He's not as far gone as Miles is.
Okay, good.
We
So I'm just saying I don't
We
feel the
need
need
to-
that I'm like I need to call someone now.
what would you tell
I'm
them?
I'm just gonna take the jar with the stuff in, and I'm gonna go and put it away somewhere
Yeah, put it in the safe.
out
Yeah.
of the way in the safe.
8675-309.
Yes, I think we don't need the temptation of that hanging around.
Mm.
And then when no one's looking, I'll drink it all. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not doing that. I shall put it in the safe safely.
It was good with gin and tonic.
I think
Is there any
the problem
food
you made
left
is that you
over?
didn't try having it with Angostura bitters. That would probably have taken
Oh yes,
the
that would have helped
Um,
to the flavor immensely.
If there's any food left over, I might try and get Chapman and Fox to maybe eat a little something.
Oh, yeah. I didn't eat all the fries. The
Well,
steak
thank you,
fries.
Theodore. I grab your arm and take a bite.
Yeah, the more sane of the two resorts to cannibalism.
I think I'll be okay. We just gotta.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm no medical man.
Close
But,
close the shutters, please.
I will get my watch out, and I'm just going to take Fox's pulse, see if he's got an elevated pulse rate.
Yeah,
Probably
his heart is just racing.
Are his eyes still dilated?
When you first found them, they were, but they've come back down.
Just afraid of dreaming.
And how's Frederick look as far as eye dilation and his pulse?
His eyes are perfectly normal, and his pulse is perfectly steady.
See, that kind of worries me.
Yeah.
Like it's almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
more worried the way that he's acting, yet everything seems to be copacetic. I'm just like,
Let's try sleeping, but lock the door so that we can't get out.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Yes.
lock that so that he can't get out onto the balcony. Or me.
well, he's backing away from the balcony. He doesn't seem to.
Yeah, but we're talking about a reaction during your sleep. You might just do something. I might think I could fly and jump out the window.
Yeah. Theo, help me move the couch next to the front door.
Flying is out of the question.
Yes. Fox, that's not your pipe, my friend. There we go.
Someday
yeah,
I'll
help,
like the damn thing.
I'll make sure I with Hauser we'll lock all the windows and make sure they're all. Might even try and like tightly tuck Chapman into bed, like really tight, tuck him in with the sheets. And the same with Fox. Just try and kind of. And I might try and I'll try and maybe wake up every afternoon and check on them through the night.
I'll
just to make
alternate
sure
and help you with that.
yeah.
Okay, so with the rotating schedule of of you guys watching them, Fox and Chapman, you have very fitful, very difficulty sleeping. The nightmares of those visions that you saw in your dreams do not return when you try to sleep this time. And as you wake up in the morning, the day where you're going to meet with Gavigan, I think this is a good place to call it.
Okay. We're also going to try to go meet with the
inspector.
policeman.
Mhm.
Yeah. Our players included Zane Fleming, Brian Daly, Mick Swan, Stuart Lively, and myself, with Morgan Llewellyn as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production. In order to create a richer listener experience, we provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs of all of the short provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure in the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.